Hi there, wonderful people. Welcome to my channel. So we begin the Sagittarius Navamsha now after Scorpio. After the transformation takes place, you arrive into a high point. Now, before I get into that, just a quick word with all people listening anywhere on LinkedIn or YouTube or podcast. Jyotish is a wonderful science to engage with in the sense that it is occult also, it is self-revealing, it has to do with everything in your life. Whether you choose to do Jotish with context of modern psychology, like I have bridged many places, or whether you choose to do it occult or remedies, everywhere it's applicable. It's not linear, it's multidimensional science. Also, I choose to personally use Jotish for empowerment because there is a lot going on in terms of using Jotish as a means of, sort of a doomsday thing, sort of trying to tell people this is what it is, you live with it, and this is all you got, and all this whole bunch of stuff in your chart is just bad karma. This is the popular connotation in Jyotish in India. Many astrologers subscribe to this view. Although this is not the case, you open your chart and you start seeing things, and you first begin the discovery of your chart, and you think, all of this stuff, I got the wrong stuff on my plate. I got the wrong job, wrong family, wrong spouse, wrong children, wrong everything. You see how you can go down that road of negativity. I don't subscribe to that personally, and I don't even counsel my clients this way. Every chart, if you truly look at it that way, has a balance of shadow and light. The shadow work, so-called shadow work, which many other people also do. It's a balance of dark and light. There is no such thing in any chart as only positive or only negative. It doesn't exist. You require right kind of analysis, right kind of eyes to see it, perceive it, know it. So I would suggest to all those Jyotishis who are intent upon having a very pessimistic view of life, of themselves and everything around them, to start getting some sort of optimism, get your life together first before going out and advising other people of all the kind of negativity. So that's one thing. Second point, and here's where I want to bring the important or most neglected part, I have found at least, in Jyotish to all of you people. And this is what I intend to bring going further as well. Let's look at a chart a different way. Your natal chart. Okay, let's look at it a different way. There are all 7 or 9 planets. If you take just the basic Jyotish, Rahu, Ketu plus 7 planets, there are totally 9 of them in the chart scattered around. It's like the stars are thrown around in your chart, in different nakshatras, in different houses, whatever. Is it possible, now I ask you the question, is it possible that you can look at your own chart and say, today I will decide to be more disciplined like Saturn. Let me see where Saturn is placed, what nakshatra it is placed, and how I can work with it, which house it is placed. Is it possible that you can look at Venus in your chart and see what kind of creativity do I actually have? Where does it play out? How can I enhance it? And work with the Venus in your chart. Or Mars, if you want to achieve targets. If you want to find out where your drive and creativity truly lies in terms of action orientation, you can see Mars in your chart, where it's placed. Can I do this today? Can I explore this a little further? And this is where the science of Jyotish becomes really empowering and beautiful. Okay, this is just my 2 takes on it. Leave your comment if you are engaging with something like this. This is very interesting. That being said, now let's begin the Sagittarius Navamsha. Sagittarius is the sign of principles. The 2 houses of Jupiter, Sagittarius and Pisces, are very different in functioning. You got to understand the differences or the colors of Jupiter, if you want to call it that. Sagittarius is the sign of principles. Everything, if your 9th house Sagittarius is dominant in your Navamsha and natal, for example, you will be the kind of person who loves rules, regulations. It's the one who makes laws. It's the judiciary. It's the one who rules the universities of all kinds. They are the professors. They are the teachers. They are the high principled creatures, if you want to call it that. Any planet or point sitting in Sagittarius Navamsha, especially if you go to Jaimini astrology, they will predict that the person will fall from height if not sticking to principles. That is to say, the planet which goes in Sagittarius Navamsha will tend to make principles for themselves, not necessarily the society. If Saturn is placed here, you will have principles regarding work, for example. If Mars is placed here, you will have a tendency to make principles regarding your action, what actions you take, similar things. And if you don't stick to your own principles, the stuff you have made for yourself, you have a fall from that position. They also tell that in terms of predictive astrology, they say you can literally have a fall from a height physically. That being said, whenever you see planets running in Sagittarius Navamsha, that dasha or that antardasha, and the planet is active, you have to do some corrective action. This is the sort of falls in the realm of pending karma, if you will. Much used term, but very less understood. Pending karma means what in this case, in Sagittarius Navamsha? Now this is something like Virgo Navamsha, slightly different. It is a corrective Navamsha. It will make you correct the incomplete task that you have left in the past life. You can call it that. You did something in the past life, there wasn't enough time, you kick the bucket, and here you are. And then you say, now I want to continue and finish that work. That is the indication of Sagittarius Navamsha. Okay? It's not necessarily a mistake. That's again the viewpoint, isn't it? With what lens do you view your life? Is it a whole bunch of mistakes, or are you an awesome person trying to do the best you can within the structures, the narrow structures that society operates in right now? It operates in very narrow perspectives. It's all about intelligence or stupidity, or what you have in your bank account, or how much degrees you have. This is a very narrow structure of the society. So it doesn't understand Jotish at all, least of all appreciate it, isn't it? So you're doing the best you can, each one of you. So it's not necessarily mistake, it's maybe incomplete stuff. I would put it more in terms of incomplete stuff. Sagittarius Navamsha makes rules and guidelines about that particular planet signification. It's a muted sign. So whatever lands in Sagittarius, you tend to do it silently. You tend to do it quietly without making noise. Gemini makes noise. Sagittarius is quiet. Any planet going into Sagittarius Navamsha brings a lot of disappointments initially due to pressure. Now, compare this with Leo Navamsha, for example. Even that had the same issue, isn't it? The problem Sagittarius Navamsha will face is regarding fanaticism. They tend to become fanatics, especially if Jupiter is here in Sagittarius Navamsha. They will call it, well, it's exalted, and let's say it's in the 9th house. Well, you can become a serious fanatic. I'm just a Hindu, and as Hindu and orange flags as they come. I'm a Muslim, and as green and half crescent moon as they come. This is a fanaticism. There is no need for such things. One has to graduate out of fanaticism, especially in the world today, and the separation that you are seeing. You have to take care of this in the Sagittarius Navamsha. Do not become fanatic of that kind of planet or what it stands for. Okay? That's the advice. Has a tendency to give advices to everyone else, making rules for everyone else, telling people this is wrong and that is right. That is the approach of planet sitting in Sagittarius Navamsha. No, I think this is this way, and I think this is the way it should be done. They'll go on social media and rant about it. Jupiter works on feelings. Sagittarius Navamsha is status. It is the gain or loss of status in the society. I would put more of Capricorn there, but never mind. Saturn here, quickly a review of the planet sitting here. Saturn has a lot of past knowledge related to rules, procedures, a lot of past knowledge relating to Dharma, because Sagittarius is Dharma, folks. A lot of Hindus speak of Dharma without knowing what the hell it is. Sagittarius is your Dharma. So Saturn in Sagittarius, you have to work something later in life with respect to dharmic principles. Tell the people what it really is. And this is where it will focus your attention to do. If Saturn is sitting in Sagittarius Navamsha. If Mercury sits here, correction regard to speech, neighbors, siblings and kids. corrections, I said, not mistakes. What incomplete tasks have you left in the past lifetime with regard to all of these people? So Mercury in Sagittarius Navamsha might show up as some issues with neighbors, some issues with siblings, some issues with children. Something needs correction there. It's a corrective sign like Virgo, but this is about rules and regulations. Something has been broken. Some rule or principle has been broken. Dharma in this context means a very broad one. You might have broken the rules of nature. The entire Veda and Vedic system, of which Jotish is integral part of, says that there are some laws that universe operates by. You need to stick to those laws. You can't cook up your own fancy laws like Rahu and Ketu, isn't it? Talking, speaking, writing coaches. You can become writing coaches. Mercury in Sagittarius Navamsha. Desire to teach these. This kind of advisory role may happen, especially if Mercury becomes your Amatya Karaka, for example. Mars here in Sagittarius Navamsha may have issues with vehicle, property, siblings. Again, all the Karaka of Mars. What mistakes have you done? Again, I would not put it necessarily as mistakes. What have you left incomplete? We only come to complete something which has been half done or half understood. Too many guidelines they give, Mars and Sagittarius. Promises which were not kept. Giving advices to siblings, advices regarding to property buying. Real estate people have Mars and Sagittarius Navamsha. Rahu here has made all kinds of self-obsessive, egotistical stuff in the past life. Obsessive desires from past life. Your psychology, your subconscious mind, your wisdom from other faiths and gurus. Maybe you have abandoned a guru in the past life. Maybe you have tried to become a fake guru in the past life. Who knows? Unconventional, non-traditional approach to teaching wisdom. New age coaches figure in this kind of category. Rahu in Sagittarius Navamsha. Ketu here may have left some spiritual tasks in the past life incomplete. You have come to complete them now. So for example, if Saturn and Ketu are together in Sagittarius Navamsha, understand your work later in life will be directed towards doing something with spirituality. Guaranteed, 100% I can tell you this. Detached from rules or guidelines, they don't care about rules. Ketu in Sagittarius Navamsha. It's a liberal spiritualist. And people come to seek spiritual advices from them because they know the higher graduation beyond all the sort of normative principles, you see. Principles can be listed in 20,000 books, but if something is not being followed by action, such kind of spirituality or astrology is pretty meaningless, isn't it? Moon here may bring disappointments due to emotional control. So something regarding emotions has been left incomplete. Something regarding your karma with your mother has been left incomplete. You got to examine this for yourself. This is why astrology is very personal in nature. So you got to take care of that. Venus here asks, what kind of corrective action needs to be done in a relationship or with regard to money, all the Venus aspects. You may have disappointments in relationship because this particular person wants the relationship to follow some kind of guidelines or procedures. That's all Jupiter in Sagittarius wants to do. Create rules, create guidelines, create procedures. That's it. This is in Sagittarius. Pisces is totally different. We'll get to that. It may have fanaticism in relationships. It can become a relationship coach also if it's Amatya Karaka. A very pricey one. Like I'm going to do only for select people. You see the super expensive relationship coaches around? They might have Venus in Sagittarius Navamsha. Jupiter being here on the other hand has the image of being everyone's friend. People come and associate with them very easily, like the common people's guru. Talk to them, connect to them. This person may project image, always keeps learning through life. They are in search for something in their life that never ends, a spirituality that is endless. Jupiter in Sagittarius Navamsha. Sun here, people will take this person advices regarding to legal matters, regarding to education, regarding to government, all the karma with government shows up as sun in your Sagittarius Navamsha. Now let's listen in to the rest of the details.
Navamsha, as internal self, after 30 years maturity, after marriage. The Sagittarius Navamsha. Before we step into Sagittarius Navamsha, let me slow you down again and bring you back to the living reality of Navamsha. Navamsha is not a concept you understand. It's a truth you eventually live. After Saturn maturity, after disappointments, responsibilities, commitments, and especially after marriage, something inside you begins to ask bigger questions. Questions that ambition, security, or validation can no longer answer. That questioning itself is Navamsha awakening. Sagittarius Navamsha is where the soul lifts its eyes from survival and asks, what is the meaning of all this? If Scorpio Navamsha forced you to confront truth through pain and transformation, Sagittarius Navamsha seeks truth through understanding. This is the Navamsha of philosophy, belief systems, ethics, purpose, and inner alignment. After 30, and very strongly after marriage, planets placed here begin to express a deep inner urge to live a life that makes sense, morally, spiritually, intellectually. Sagittarius Navamsha matures when blind ambition loses its flavor, when comfort feels empty, when success without meaning feels hollow. This is when the inner teacher wakes up. Let's walk through how each planet behaves when your internal self is wired toward truth, direction, and wisdom. When the sun enters Sagittarius Navamsha, your identity becomes purpose-driven after 30. You no longer want to succeed at just anything. You want to succeed at something that aligns with your beliefs. Do you notice yourself questioning your career, your goals, your direction more deeply now? Marriage reveals this clearly because you need a partner who respects your ideals. If this sun operates through the first house of the Navamsha, you become a natural guide and truth seeker. Through the 9th, your life path revolves around teaching, mentoring, or living by higher principles. When the moon enters Sagittarius Navamsha, emotional security comes from freedom and meaning. After 30, confinement suffocates you emotionally. Do you feel lighter when you are learning, traveling, or expanding your worldview? In marriage, emotional fulfillment depends on shared ideals and space to grow. If the moon operates through the 4th house, home becomes a place of learning and exploration. Through the 7th, your emotional state is deeply tied to your partner's worldview and openness. When Mars enters Sagittarius Navamsha, your drive becomes idealistic. After 30, you fight for beliefs rather than ego. Do you notice anger rising when principles are violated rather than when pride is hurt? This Mars acts with conviction. In marriage, conflict arises when values clash. If Mars operates through the 3rd house, you debate passionately and fearlessly. Through the 10th, career ambition aligns with purpose-driven leadership. When Mercury enters Sagittarius Navamsha, the mind becomes expansive and philosophical. After 30, small talk loses appeal. Do you crave conversations about meaning, truth, ethics, and the future? Communication becomes teaching-oriented. In marriage, intellectual compatibility matters deeply. If Mercury operates through the 2nd house, your speech becomes inspirational and value-driven. Through the 9th, your mind seeks scriptures, philosophy, law, or higher knowledge. When Jupiter enters Sagittarius Navamsha, the soul comes home. After 30, wisdom flows naturally. Do you feel a growing urge to guide, teach, or mentor others? Your belief system strengthens through lived experience rather than blind faith. Marriage becomes a partnership of shared growth. If Jupiter operates through the 5th house, you become a natural teacher, parent, or creative philosopher. Through the 9th, spiritual leadership and higher learning define your life. When Venus enters Sagittarius Navamsha, love seeks growth, honesty, and shared vision. After 30, relationships without purpose feel empty. Do you crave a partner who evolves with you, learns with you, and respects your freedom? In marriage, love thrives on adventure and truth. If Venus operates through the 7th house, partnership becomes a journey rather than a destination. Through the 5th, romance expresses itself through learning, travel, and shared exploration. When Saturn enters Sagittarius Navamsha, belief systems are tested. After 30, life asks you to live your truth responsibly. Do you notice moments where your ideals are challenged by reality? Marriage demands integrity here. Words must match actions. If Saturn operates through the 6th house, discipline is applied toward ethical service. Through the 10th, authority comes through moral leadership and long-term vision. When Rahu enters Sagittarius Navamsha, hunger for meaning becomes intense. After 30, you may chase gurus, philosophies, ideologies, or foreign experiences. Do you feel restless until you find something that explains life? Marriage may revolve around shared belief systems or ideological tension. If Rahu operates through the first house, identity transforms through belief. Through the ninth, obsession with knowledge, religion, or ideology intensifies. When Ketu enters Sagittarius Navamsha, detachment from dogma sets in. After 30, you may step away from rigid belief systems altogether. Do you notice skepticism replacing blind faith? Inner wisdom becomes more important than external teachers. In marriage, spiritual independence is essential. If Ketu operates through the fifth house, creativity becomes philosophical and inward. Through the ninth, you walk a solitary spiritual path guided by inner truth. Sagittarius Navamsha ultimately asks you a liberating yet demanding question once Saturn matures you and marriage reflects you. Are you living in alignment with what you believe, or are you only preaching it? Because this Navamsha does not allow hypocrisy. It demands congruence. It demands honesty between thought, word, and action. And when you answer that call, something shifts quietly but permanently. Life regains direction. Confusion gives way to purpose. And the road ahead finally feels meaningful. I shall see you in the next Navamsha. Meanwhile, you take very good care of yourself today.